All right, time is 7 o'clock, so let us be on time as usual. Thank you so much, all the participants, for joining this 2 days workshop. And we have with us Dr. Ruchika ma'am. It's a great pleasure and honor to briefly introduce ma'am. Ma'am has earned her doctorate in management from AKTU on the topic of self-help groups. Ma'am has more than 19 years of experience in the field of academics, and she has on her credits more than 30 papers in Scopus, UGC, and peer-reviewed journal. Ma'am also having editorship and reviewership of few books in IGI Global. Presently, ma'am is working as a professor in Department of Business Administration, prestigious PSIT, Kanpur. We welcome ma'am, and thank you so much being with us for today and tomorrow. I hand over the session to you, ma'am. Thank you. Once again. Ma'am, you are not audible,
Yeah,
please.
thank you. Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. So we are just going to start the session. Good evening, everyone. As sir has said, like I have published many papers, yes, and it was just due to some knowledge of research. And after PhD, we all should be working in that direction. Whatever we have learned, we should be able to disseminate that information among our juniors. So on that note, I would like to start today's class. Uh, the topic of today is CFA and SEM. Last session, I have also taken 2 days FDP last time, and that FDP was also on CFA and SEM, but that time we have taken the analysis on PLSM. So that was basically on the partial least square. But this time, I will be teaching the analysis on SPSS and AMOS. So running the tool is a very, very easy task. Like it is just a matter of 15 to 20 minutes, like how to make the conceptual framework on AMOS. You will simply learn it in a very short span of time. But why to use it, when to use it, and what is the basic requirement to use this software? Because AMOS is basically used for covariance based analysis. So I will just start showing you the slides. So we will go through with all the requirements to understand that what kind of data structuring we are required to have, and what is, if we run EFA, when to run EFA, is it always required to run EFA before CFA? So EFA belongs to exploratory factor analysis, and CFA belongs to confirmatory factor analysis. Since I have done my PhD, like it's almost 9 years, 8 to 9 years, when I've completed my PhD, and at that time also there was a confusion that whether we should run EFA, exploratory factor analysis, before CFA or not. And most of the time, our guide says that do it. Why don't you write the EFA report in front of CFA? But when there is a requirement, when there is not at all a requirement, or when we know what is my variable, what is my construct, I do not think so that we have to run EFA all the time. CFA will suffice the purpose, and then we will run SEM. So there must be many scholars who may be very inquisitive to know that how and what is the advantage we can get when we are doing the analysis. So I would like to start the session, and my session will be comprising of, initially I would like to tell you what is the nature of the variable, and depending upon we decide whether we should go with SEM or not. Because SEM is a combination of path analysis and regression. So we should always be able to understand if regression is going to suffice the purpose to achieve the objectives, why I am choosing SEM. Is there any specific reason behind choosing SEM? What is the difference between SEM and regression? Because there is again a big difference between regression and SEM. So when should I put the regression? What kind of data am I required? So I will start this presentation on that note. I would like to share my slide with everyone. Just give me a second. Yeah, sir, Bolaraj sir, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So as sir has already said, like I will be talking more upon EFA, CFA and SEM. And we will be doing the covariance based analysis. We are having two kinds of analysis, like covariance based and partial least square. So covariance based analysis will be done. There are some specification. I will keep on talking about it. Now, before I start, as I told you, running on a software is very easy. So with the simple steps, you will be able to understand how the software works. But what are the basic requirement? We will start with this. And I would like to start on a note of personification of a variable. So like whenever we, go into the literature review, we are able to identify a few variables. For an example, if I say that my questionnaire is having some demographic variables and my questionnaire is also having some constructs. So some constructs like customer satisfaction and maybe the quality of goods. So if in demographic variables, I'm having gender, income, status, maybe, like low middle class, upper middle class, and high class. What is your race? What is your religion? So all these factors, apart this, customer satisfaction and quality of goods, how you are going to measure what is the personification of a variable. So to understand that under which category these variables will come, we have to understand that the personification of variable falls into four categories. One is nominal, the second one is ordinal, third one is interval, and fourth one is ratio. Why I'm using it? Because whenever we go with SEM and regression, the prerequisite says that the dependent and independent variable should be metric. Now the question comes again, what is metric and what is non-metric? So whatever I will say right now, I will ask few things to you also after completing the personification. So remember one thing, that nominal and ordinal are said to be non-metric. I will again explain you what is nominal and ordinal, as I'm just going to start with it. And interval and ratio are considered to be metric. Now, if you see, if I'm having some person in my study, that will be considered as a variable. And whenever I'm going to attach all those variables in my study, for an example, I'm having few nominal variables, I'm having some ordinal variables, means on ordinal scale, few variables are on nominal scale, few variables are on interval scale, and few are on ratio scale. And then I'm trying to create a relationship with all of them. For an example, is there any impact of income on customer satisfaction? I have not told you yet that what is normal, what is ordinal, but what I am trying to say here is when you are going to have a connectivity of one variable with another one, this relationship is called a hypothesis. So hypothesis is nothing else, just a relationship between variables. And when I am going to connect all the variables related to my study with each other, for an example, if I am having three variables, education, impact on income, and income impact on quality of goods, and quality of goods impact to customer satisfaction. This these four variables connected together creates a model. And if I want to add on some new variable into this, that can also be considered as a gap, right? The importance of variable is very important, and on what nature those variables are being measured. So when you see the first one, as I have told you, nominal, if I ask to somebody that what is your gender, and the person is going to say male or female, what do you think? What inference we can calculate out of this? Anyone? What are we doing after knowing that the person is male and female? Can I say that the female is better than male? Can I say this thing? Anyone? Can I say something like that? I'm asking to you all. Can I say
No.
no, I can't say that. That means what I am doing, if I'm asking in my questionnaire that are you a male, if that person is saying yes, I am male. So for an example, I have given my questionnaire to 10. The sample size is 10. And out of 10, 5 says they are male and 5 says they are female. So what inference I can take maximum out of it? I can only say that in my study, 5 males and 5 females are there. So when I am not able to make any other inference rather than just an identifier, like for an example, roll numbers. So when I'm saying roll number 1 is of Rajesh, roll number 2 is of Mahima, roll number 3 is of Ruchika, what are these roll numbers inferences are? These roll numbers are just like an identification of that roll number 1 belongs to Rajesh, roll number 2 belongs to Mahima, and roll number 3 belongs to Ruchika. So when my variable inference is just to have some kind of identification, this kind of variable can always be measured on a nominal scale. So if we are making entry into SPSS and we are supposed to enter every kind of data, remember this, that all the information like your gender, are you earning or not? If I am asking to somebody, are you earning or not? And if the person is giving me the answer on yes or no, and for an example, if I ask this question to 50, my sample size is 50, and 30 are saying they are having income, they are working somewhere, and 20 are saying that they are not working somewhere. Maximum what inference I can calculate? Can I make any calculation based upon this? Once they have said yes or no, I don't think so that I will be able to make any other calculation out of it. So again, this is just an identifier that 30 have said yes and 20 have said no. So on SPSS, all these kind of questions which are just being an identifier. So generally all the questions in the form of yes or no, you should always get their entry on SPSS on nominal scale. So whenever we are just entering the data in SPSS, we have certain options under the heading scale. So we can always choose the option of nominal, ordinal, and ratio. These are some of the things which are mentioned in SPSS, and we can go with that. So this is all about the first measurement scale, which is called nominal. So can I say that it is just an identifier? And if I'm asking to somebody, are you married or not? The person is saying yes or no. Can I make any other inference rather than this, knowing that the person is married or not? Anyone, please? Can you make out any other analysis out of this data? Yes. If you will say, I think I will be able to understand that yes, you all are with me.
Yes. And no, we can,
No, ma'am, no.
No, that means we won't be able to make any other inference based upon that, because this is just an identifier.
identify.
Yes. Now, the second measurement scale is ordinal, and putting the data into the ascending, descending order, putting the data into a rank, and even what is your qualification. For an example, if I ask to somebody that what is your qualification, and if the person says, I am 10th, I have given some option 10th, 12th, graduation, and PhD. What is the inference that I can calculate out of it? Yes, anyone? What inference you can take out of this data?
It's
And if
an
I say,
order. It's an
yes,
order.
it's an order, but if for an example, I'm having a sample size of 50, and out of 50, 9 are PhD. So I can also say that out of
Rank.
50, 9 are highly qualified.
Yes.
Can I say that?
Yes.
Yes. But is it possible that the same kind of statement can be made here also?
No.
That married are more intelligent as compared to non-married?
No.
No, I
No.
cannot. So that is the nature of the nominal data, nominal scale data, that you won't be able to make any calculations further except the simple calculation, like these are considered as a yes or these are no. So that is why it is just called an identifier. But what is happening here, that when I'm asking the questions, I am also able to put that data into the ascending and descending order too. So I can always write like PhD at a upper bracket, then graduation, then 12th, and then 10th. And I can also write this data into ascending order, 10th, 12th, graduation, and PhD. And the inference that can be taken like, yes, okay, PhD is more qualified as compared to 10th and 12th. So that kind of inference can be taken. Or like your income. So if I'm asking to somebody, what is your income? And I'm giving you a bracket of your income lies between 1 lakh to 10 lakh, 10 to 20, and 20 to 30. My inference can be like those who are having the income of 20 to 30, their income is comparatively more than these two brackets. And again, I can put that data into ascending and descending order. Now, there is something called interval scale, and except the scientific studies where people are going into the snow areas, people are going into the environmental related studies in which they want to capture the temperature of earth, temperature of weather, temperature of a specific area. In supply chain management, if some kind of logistics regarding studies are being taken care of, in which the temperature controlled departments are to be studied. So what happened that in interval kind of ratio, generally these kind of data is being collected in supply chain management, and this kind of data is not having the arbitrary zero. There is no arbitrary zero into this. Means I cannot say that 0 degree does not mean that there is no temperature. Is it that the zero is having the absolute zero in the meaning? Is it that the zero is having absolute zero? No. It is just an arbitrary zero. Means zero does not say that there is no temperature. Even 0 degree have some degree of temperature which can be visibly seen, which can be experienced. So even if somebody is saying me that, regarding the 20-degree temperature and regarding the 40-degree temperature, can I say that 40-degree temperature is just double of 20-degree temperature? Can I say that? Yes, anyone? Can I say that 40 degree is absolutely double of 20 degree?
No.
No, we can't say that. So that means it is just an arbitrary zero. It is not having the absolute zero. Right. Now, if you see, likewise, there are few other examples I have taken. So as I said to you that generally in terms of logistics management, where, the cartridge is to be taken on, where the logistics, warehouses, all these kind of places where temperature is to be maintained a lot in the logistics, then these kind of studies are taken, and the scientist who wants to measure the IQ score of someone, like, is it that for an example that fear of missing out, FOMO, is affecting the IQ of people? If somebody wants to study, is it the IQ also keeps on changing if the scientists want to study? Is there any element of knowledge and education which can improve the IQ? So all these kind of study. Now, if I say that the person is having 0 IQ, it does not mean that the person is having no intelligence. As I cannot say that IQ 120 is just double of IQ 60. I can't claim this thing. So there is a chance that there could be an equal distance difference, like 90 and 100 can have a difference of 10. Likewise, 110 can have a difference of 10. But I cannot give the answer of how many times. So it is again very tough for me to go to give the answer where I am not having the absolute zero, as I have given you two examples, like for the weather condition related studies, and the second example is of IQ score, where zero does not mean zero. It has some meaning too. So, but yes, any question?
So, yes, ma'am. So, can we say that it is just a representational form and not the exact values like we have on the coordinate scales?
Yes, yes, it's very true. Like if
Okay,
I
thank
say
you.
that, for an example, that I'll just give you one more example of weight. So, can we say that 40 kilo weight is twice of 20, ma'am? Can we say that?
Mm,
Yes,
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 because it
we
is
can.
based upon some, and if I'm saying that someone is having 0 weight, it has some meaning or not?
No,
0 weight? No, no, ma'am. Try to understand. If I'm saying that I'm feeling the pressure of air, but I'm feeling that there is a 0 weight in the air. So means that there is no weight. And if I'm saying that by taking this person feels that this small child is having a 0 weight. So zero means absolute zero. Zero का मतलब ही है absolute zero. So if zero is something like I am saying that marks. If somebody is having 0 marks, is it also having some meaning? Tell me.
yes, it will have a meaning.
What meaning do you think? Hello? Just
I mean,
just
yes,
just wait a minute. Just wait a minute, man. Hello? Yes. क्लास वो चल रही है, मेरी वर्कशॉप चल रही है, अभी बात करती हूँ. हाँ बोलो 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 बोलो. हाँ आ जाओ घर आ जाओ. हाँ ठीक है. So if I'm saying that you have given an exam of 100 marks and out of 100 marks your marks are 0, so this is possible that somebody can have 0 marks. This is
If the
possible or
paper
not?
is blank, then yes, it is possible that you will
Yes.
score nothing.
So is it that the same thing can I have in interval? If I'm saying that there is a zero temperature, what is the meaning of that zero temperature? Is it having an absolute zero? That zero temperature means no temperature. Can we say that?
No.
No. So that's what I'm saying. On interval scale, the things which are measured, these things are not having absolute zero. Even if there is some zero in interval scale measured by somebody in the form of temperature or in the form of IQ, it means something. Something must be there. But because in ratio scale, what we consider that there is an absolute zero. If I'm saying that somebody who has got 0 marks, so that means that person must be having 0 marks. And if I'm saying 0 weight, that means there is no existence of somebody. When there is no existence of somebody, that means that there is a 0 weight. So, and even I can apply all those functions here. I can apply addition, I can apply subtraction, I can apply multiplication, I can apply division, and I can always give the answer of one question, that how many times, which was not possible into the interval scale. I can't say that 60° is just double of 30. I can't say that, minus 10° temperature is just cannot be calculated in any way. So 0 means no absolute zero in interval, but in ratio, there is some meaning of 0. If I am going to multiply 0 with someone, that will be converted into the whole sum 0. It can also be used for the purpose of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So every kind of data, like if in financial records, in balance sheet, if there is a 0 before point and if there is a 0 after point, there is some value of it. So if in financial ratio we are having, for an example, 0.005, there is some value of it. We can use that value. We will be able to derive to that value based upon some multiplications, divisions, and will be able to use that. There is some interpretation of this. We can use that in calculations, and that is why all the social science studies, generally all the social science studies are having the data which is collected on a ratio scale. So all the study which is having, like if I'm going to say you that you are conducting a study on the customer satisfaction who have taken a loan from bank. So if I'm saying that their for an example, interest rate is 10.8, and if I'm saying their interest rate is 100.8, so it is like the 10 times more. I can say that based upon the answer, how many times, how much times the interest rate is 100.8 or 10.8. That means 100 is, again 10 times more than 10.8. So there is some meaning which I am having to attach 0 into this. So all this kind of data which is having the meaning of 0, which is having an absolute 0, then that kind of data is considered to be on a ratio scale. I think if we all are the scholars, if I can have the scholars of social science studies, in social science, either your data will be nominal, or your data will be ordinal, or your data will be on a ratio scale. Hardly we could find those who are very, the scientists who are studying on some kind of experiments where they want to study, some kind of weather conditions, climate conditions, or they want to study IQ related things, then definitely they can go with interval data. Otherwise, our data is on ratio scale. So remember one thing, that all the data which is collected on nominal and ordinal, that means identifier and rank based, all that will be considered as a non-metric data. And the data which is be collected on the interval and ratio scale, because I'm having some numbers, so it is not the rank, it is not the identifier. My data is having arbitrary 0 and absolute 0. So that kind of data will be considered as a metric data. So before, applying for any kind of tool, whether you should go with chi-square, or you should go with regression, or you should go with ANOVA, before applying any of the tool, that thought should be clear in your mind that your data falls under what category, whether it is a metric data or a non-metric data. Up to that extent, the information has to be clear in your mind. Now, the second thing which comes here is, when I am going to study, and for an example, the analysis could be of 3 types: univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, and multivariate analysis. I will give you few examples. I'll give you few statements, and then you yourself will tell me that whether this study is studying one variable, is this study is considering 2 variable or more than 2 variable. So for an example, again, there are some catch which we all have to understand. So if my objective is to study the impact, to study the, just wait a minute. Yes. To study the customer satisfaction of brand X. Of brand X. Brand X is a constant. How many variables are there in this study? Anyone? Yes?
One variable.
One variable.
One variable. Okay, very good. Now, this is univariate. बहुत easy था. It was very easy. This is univariate. Now, give me the answer of this one. To study the customer satisfaction and producer satisfaction of brand X. Now, what kind of study is it? How many variables I am having in this study?
2 variables.
So what kind of study do you think that should be?
Bivariate.
Bivariate.
No, absolutely wrong.
No?
This is again a univariate analysis. Let me tell you how. If I'm going to break down this study into 2 statements, what consonant I have used here? And. If I say to study the customer satisfaction of brand X and to study the producer satisfaction of brand X, how these 2 statements are different from the statement I have written? Tell me.
Here, customer satisfaction and producer satisfaction is 1%. Means they are having they will talk. They are going to say about brand X, and here we have 2 variables: customer satisfaction of brand X, and then producer satisfaction can be other person also. Means of brand X.
No, ma'am. My question is that you yourself said that there are 2 variables. This is variable 1. This is variable 2.
No, in the second one, 2 variables are there. In the first one, we have 1 variable.
No, ma'am.
Customer-
No. In this statement also, we are having 2 variables. One variable is customer satisfaction and the second variable is producer satisfaction. What I mean to say, these are 2 different variables. One variable is measuring the satisfaction of customer. One variable is measuring the satisfaction of producer. There are 2 variables, but when I am going to conduct the study, I can conduct the study for customer satisfaction differently and for the producer satisfaction differently? If I am going to break this statement into two, is there any difference between first and second? My question is this. Give me the answer of this. Don't you think is it of the same thing? Yes.
I feel both are not same, but
No.
I'm unable to explain
No.
it.
Okay. Let me just give you one more example. Just 1 second. Let me give you one more example. That's the main thing, ma'am, where we go wrong, where we put up the wrong analysis. Univariate analysis is to be univariate, and that's the case. People are considering this to be a bivariate analysis. Now, if I say, see the statement again. I'm writing the statement again that now see, to study customer satisfaction and producer satisfaction of brand X. And now my second study is to study the impact of producer satisfaction on customer satisfaction of brand X. Now, what is the difference between these two?
In the second one, we are seeing the relationship or association between two of the variables.
Yes, that's the catch. When I am having the words like to study the relationship, to study the impact, that means PS is my independent variable and CS is my dependent variable.
Yes.
Now, what is happening in the first one, ma'am? See it again. What is happening in the first one? As you are studying the customer satisfaction, there is no relationship between these two. I will
Yes.
study customer satisfaction independently,
Yes.
and I will also study the producer satisfaction independently.
Yes. Got it.
These two will be, studied independently. That is the reason this will always be considered as a part of univariate analysis. Am
Okay.
I able to make you clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay, now.
Thank you.
Yes, so even if I write that to study the government satisfaction, customer satisfaction, and private producers satisfaction, I am having one word between and. So if I am going to study all those variables individually, irrespective of how many variables I am having, this will be considered always as a univariate analysis. Now, this statement where I am checking the relationship between independent and dependent, and I am having two variables, this is considered to be bivariate. And when I will say to check the impact of price on demand and satisfaction. So I am again checking the price demand on two variables. So this is considered to be independent variable, and I am having two dependent variable 1 and dependent variable 2. So more than two variables, that means I am having multivariate analysis. So is it clear the difference between when we can have the univariate, that means only one variable we are studying. When we can have bivariate, that means we are studying two variables. And this is multivariate, where we are having studying the relationship between more than two variables will be multivariate. So can I move further? Is it okay? Clear?
Ma'am, so in case of bivariate analysis, there will be relationship between one independent variable and one dependent variable.
Yes.
And in case of multivariate analysis, there will be one independent variable and more
No,
than
no,
one
no, no, no,
dependent variable.
no. In multivariate, in total, I should have more than 2. So there can also be a possibility when my independent variables are 2 and dependent variable is 1. So for an example, if I'm saying that to study the impact of cash and credit on social well-being. What is the impact of cash and credit on social well-being? So that means cash is one variable, credit is one variable, and social well-being is third variable. So how many variables I am having? 3. More than 2. So whenever I am having more than 2 variables, it could be like independent variables can be 2. I can have dependent variables can 2. I can have 2 independent, 3 dependent, 3 independent, 5 dependent. So more than 2 variables will always be considered, and we should have the words like impact, relationship, these kind of words if there, where I'm checking the impact of one on another, checking the relationship, positive, negative, hai bhi ki nahi hai, that kind of analysis will be considered as a multivariate analysis. Yes, ma'am, please tell me if it is not clear.
Yes, it is clear. It is clear, ma'am. It is clear.
Thank you. Now, there are few things which we have to see that, as I have told you, univariate. Now, how many variables are there in univariate? 1. So either that variable will be metric or that variable will be non-metric. So if my objective is, for an example, my objective is to study the income of middle class people in city X. What kind of variable is in my study? Anyone? And what is the nature of that variable? What is the variable in this statement?
Income.
Income. So what kind of variable is this, ma'am? Nominal, ordinal, ratio?
Nominal. It is nominal.
Ordinal, ma'am.
Okay, income. Okay.
Yes.
Ordinal. Like I can, like, listen. Again, this is depending
rank
on my question. How am I asking the question? If I am asking to somebody, do you earn or not? If my question is, do you earn or not? If I am getting the answer on yes or no, that means it is nominal. It is just an identifier. But if my question is, what is your income? And if that person, to ask the question, I have framed 3 brackets, 10 to 20,000, 20 to 50,000, or 51 to 1 lakh. That means I can put them in a rank. So again, either you are asking the question in nominal or in ordinal, it will be non-metric. But if you are asking the question that what is your income, you have to write it that your income is 50,000. You are supposed to write the absolute number. So in that case, my information will become metric. It will be depending upon on what way I have asked the question. So I am repeating again, just listen it carefully. If I am asking the question, what is your income? Do you earn or not? The person will give me the answer yes or no. The objective of my study is to understand that how many people are earning income or not. That could be objective of my study. So the nature of the question is on nominal scale. If I am asking the question, what is your income? And I have given three brackets. So person maybe tick here, maybe tick here, or maybe tick here. So again, this is the ordinal, non-metric. But if I am asking the person, write your answer. What is your income? It is open-ended question. So the person will write 52,000, 58,000, 1 lakh, 20 lakh, 30 lakh, whatever. So if I am asking the question in that way, it is non-metric. And if I am asking the question in this way, this become metric. So if your variable is metric, always use mean, median, and t-test. And if your variable is non-metric, always what we can do with the non-metric data, I can only count, and if possible, I can take the percentage out of total. That out of 100, 50 people were having income. That means 50% people are having income and 50% people are having no income. Is it clear? Is there any doubt?
No, ma'am. I think we should move forward so that we come to CFA and all that earlier.
Yes, ma'am, but I think that base needed to
It's
be
very
clear.
basics, like many of us would be knowing all these univariate and all that. So predominantly understanding CFA and AMOS, there we have to fit the regression. That is the main challenge. Like how do we remove all those variables that are not setting? So main agenda is on that.
Okay,
No,
fine.
I feel if basics are not clear, then we cannot use it.
Yes, actually the thing is, ma'am.
See, when you're doing CFA and AMOS, I think you should be knowing a little bit of basics.
We are aware that how CFA can be
Ma'am,
done. It is
ma'am,
available in YouTube, but understanding where we are going wrong is more important than using it.
Actually, ma'am, let me just say one thing. Sorry to interrupt. Like, there is one thing, ma'am. मैं एक बार पहले तो मैं थोड़ा सा screen off कर लेती हूँ. Just give me a minute. Actually, the thing is, ma'am, CFA and AMOS can be run very easily. I can tell you all these techniques in 1 minute, hardly 10 seconds, 15 seconds to know how to run EFA. It's very easy. You have to just click, 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 and we will be able to perform EFA. Nothing like that. In CFA, in AMOS, there is a challenge. So the challenge is that in EFA, especially in CFA, how to draw that flow diagram. This is a challenge, and that will take hardly 15 minutes to learn how to make those diagrams. And in EFA, based upon factor loading, if the variables are coming under that factor loading, one construct can be prepared. If all those are coming in second factor loading, we can create the second construct. But the challenge which I can face, like I am also having at least right now 9 to 10 scholars under me. Few of the scholars are of HBTU also. 2 of my scholars are of HBTU Kanpur. The analysis part is the last one, but they are not able to understand that why to run regression. If I ask in general to you, as you all are saying that basics are very much clear, can anybody can give me the answer, like before accessing to ChatGPT or anything else? What is the difference between regression and SEM? When to use regression and when to use SEM? Anyone who can give me the answer of this? Is there any difference between regression and SEM? And what do you think when I should go with regression and when I should go with SEM? Anyone who would like to give me the answer, please?
A difference, what I have observed that in SEM we have all together all the analysis part and structure used to come. By seeing the structure, we can analyze that which is independent and which is dependent and what kind of impact they are creating. We don't have to go through the tables in SEM. If we are seeing the SEM structure, we can identify that which is independent and which is dependent and what are the values we have. And in regression, we have to go through the table. What I understand.
No, ma'am. This is absolutely wrong. Actually, the thing is, मैं उसी पे आने वाली थी. I was just about to talk about it. That, ma'am, we are having two kind of variables. One variable is called a latent variable, and one variable is called as a observed variable. Understand what I mean to say?
Yes.
When we are about to collect data on financial related aspects, for an example, or anything which can give me the direct answer, for which I do not require any items to be formulated. For an example, if I ask to a lady, what is your age? If the ladies give me, the right answer that I am aging 45, ma'am, I do not supposed to use SEM. I have the direct answer. Why? There is a reason behind it. When I'm asking age to somebody, what is the chances of error, Kiran ma'am? If you are giving me the answer 45, what is the chances of error into this?
Not been able to answer, ma'am. Sorry.
There is no
error, I
chance,
guess.
no error.
No error.
No error.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
I'm measuring, ma'am, for an example, I'm measuring the financial reports of any company, and if the company is able to state the profit and loss account, there is no measurement error. Because the company has reported something, I have to analyze. I will put those values into the software, and the software will generate the answer to me. Now, for an example, in social science studies, especially that, when I'm supposed to measure the satisfaction of a customer, I just about to know, some company asked me, ma'am, please let us know what is the satisfaction of the consumers nowadays. And because my product is not to be sold so good into the market. And I asked them, what specifically you want to know, sir? He said the quality. So मैंने कहा, okay, sir. So what I have done to know the satisfaction, because I cannot measure that thing directly. I cannot go and ask to somebody and ask that, are you satisfied? So the person will say yes, they will confuse no. But what I have done to measure the satisfaction, I have taken 4 items. So maybe quality, price. Now, ma'am, one thing. When I am measuring quality on a Likert scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how do you all think that we will be able to capture the absolute satisfaction of the consumer? That they will not be able to get confused between 4 and 5. What do you think? There is a chance of error or not?
Yes, there is, ma'am.
Yes. So I mean to say, SEM actually helps us to remove the error, which cannot be removed by regression. Because regression always works upon direct observed values. So whenever we are collecting the data on Likert scale or on the behavioral studies, which is performed by all us, because we are doing the PhDs in management and social science, high amount of measurement and standard errors are there. So regression is unable to do that. That is why we are following SEM. And I was just about to touch that area. Ma'am, believe me, you just have some patience. Believe me, if you will be able to, all of us, if we are able to understand today's session of 1.5 hours, I'm giving you the damn sure guarantee, when tomorrow I will use tools, you will not ask me any question. Ma'am, why this tool is used? What is AVE? Generally, what we do, we write in thesis, AVE threshold value is more than 0.5. What is AVE? Why to check the value of AVE? What is CR, composite reliability? Is it same to the Cronbach alpha or not? So just have some patience, ma'am, little bit patience. I don't know who was asking to me at that time. Just give me some time and I will be able to definitely, build upon something in your mind which will help a lot to put the formulas and do the analysis tomorrow. Analysis बहुत जल्दी हो जाएगी, 15-20 मिनट में analysis करके खत्म हो जाएगी और आपको खुद लगेगा कि मैम आज का सेशन बड़ी जल्दी खत्म हो गया. So analysis we will do, you don't worry, 1.5 hours tomorrow. Just understand the theory behind it today. So I'm just going back into the session. Just allow me to do this. Okay. So when we were, doing the univariate analysis, I think that's clear to everyone. So when we are having the variable of metric nature, again, metric means we should have the ratio and interval, we will use mean, median, t-test, and non-metric count and percent. Now, bivariate analysis, as I have said to you again, there is a lot of confusion in people's mind that when to use correlation only and when to use binary regression, logistics regression, hypothesis testing, one-way ANOVA, and chi-square test. So generally, right nowadays, we are able to see that we are able to answer no, our independent and dependent variable should be chi-square. If the non-metric, we should use chi-square method. So let me just brief you about this. It will take hardly 2 minutes. That we are having these kind of independent variable. These are all my independent variables. And this is my dependent variable. So if my independent variable and dependent variable both are metric, means what? That both are giving me the answer on absolute zero. And the data which you are collecting on Likert is also to be considered as a metric one, because when you are collecting the data on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever values you are receiving, we consider that all the arithmetic variables calculations can be done on Likert. So that is why otherwise we won't be able to run the analysis on SEM and AMOS, because it is not possible. So any data which is collected again on Likert scale will be considered as a metric data. So when you are having your independent variable metric and dependent variable metric, go with correlation. It's easy to do the analysis with correlation. It will help you to do that. When you are having your independent variable metric and dependent variable non-metric, go with binary. These are the two important tools which we use: hypothesis testing, one-way ANOVA, and chi-square. So when both are non-metric, means dependent variable and independent variable is non-metric, go with chi-square. That means what? Your data is only having either the responses on nominal or your data is having the response on ordinal. Now the question comes, do we really have this kind of study? Yes, we do have. So for an example, if my objective is to study the impact of gender on income, whether female earns more or male earns more, I want to know the impact of gender. So I will be asking generally in questions like, what is your gender, male or female? And my questions will be on the basis of income, in what bracket your income comes. And some other questions which can be also be on nominal scale. So when my both the variables are non-metric, I will go with chi-square test. And if my independent variable is non-metric, but dependent variable is metric. So if my study is impact of gender on employee satisfaction in IT sector, that females are more satisfied or females are more satisfied, we will be asking the gender, that will be non-metric, and employee satisfaction we will be collecting on Likert scale, so that will be metric. So we can go with hypothesis testing, t-test, or one-way ANOVA. Now this is again, this is the multivariate analysis. And multivariate analysis may, what we can have, that we can either have independent variables more than one and dependent variables is equal to one, and we can have many other options too. So when we are having metric and non-metric data, these are some kind of bifurcations that should be kept in mind before going with any kind of analysis. People are not aware about ANCOVA, covariance based analysis. So when to use it? Multiple regression, when to use it? So SEM and CFA and EFA should always be used when your independent and dependent variables are metric. Just be in mind, carefully do that. So one of the variable which is of non-metric nature, don't go with SEM, don't go with CFA. You take some other routes. Maybe The kind of routes which are required is of hypothesis testing or NV, ANOVAs or MANOVAs. All that can be worked at that time. Now, why regression? Let me just, this is the part which is very important. Why we are using regression. So if you see here, can you see something which is very much visible, that IV is independent variable, DV is dependent, and one more thing, continuous means metric and non-continuous means non-metric. So in few of the studies, you will also find, in few of the journals and papers and books, you will find these words. So when, as I have already said to you, when your independent variable and dependent variable both are metric in nature, then always go with regression and mention this thing in your thesis too. Always write these things in your thesis, that why you are using regression. So if you will notice something, all the kind of financial analysis, if I am having some students who are doing PhD on finance, their topic is financial studies. Like right now, a lot of quantum finance, a lot of topics on financial regulations, fintech, which are going on. So you can go and see their papers, because those things can be measured directly. They will be having regression as compared to SEM. They never go with SEM, because all the information which they are looking for, these are directly observant. They are not the latent variables. And if I think up to this extent, is it clear why we are using regression and what tools are to be used as per the metric and non-metric data? Is it clear? Can I move forward? Yes, participants, can I move forward?
Can you just for 1 minute show the previous slide? Just
Yes.
for 1 minute.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, fine. So now, what is the suitability, first of all, that when to use this kind of SEM and regression, ANOVA, SPSS पे हम कर रहे हैं, we are doing it. It helps us to understand, first of all, when we are having more than one dependent variable, it is very easy to do it with the help of SEM. And when my data is very multifaceted, for an example, if I say A variable is having the relationship with B, B is having with C, A is also impacting to C, B is working as a mediating factor. So all these kind of, even if I get a chance, I will tell you that tomorrow on what basis we can choose that this is the mediating factor and this is the moderation factor. And it's very easy to do the analysis on SPSS and AMOS. So if this kind of relationships is there, which is a very complex in nature, so then we should use SEM. Many relationships are there, use SEM. Direct and indirect effects are there, use SEM. And whenever you want to get some confirmation of models and techniques, then definitely go with CFA and SEM. So this is the beauty, which is completely different, from the regression. Sample size generally to AMOS, remember 200 sample size is more than enough, because there are some prerequisites in AMOS. First of all, AMOS works with the data which is normally distributed. We can have the analysis on AMOS and we can also have the analysis on smart PLS. But remember one thing, AMOS will not give you the desired results if your data is not normally distributed. And your sample size should be at least more than 100. There are no restrictions with smart PLS. Smart PLS can work upon the non-normally distributed data and with the small sample size too. So there are some references which I have mentioned right now. This is not the end of the PPT. I will go with some other things also to make you understand now. As I have said you, AMOS is helping you to do the CB-SEM. What is CB-SEM? Covariance based. And PLS is the nature of partial least squared. Now, what is the difference and when I should use it? There are two kind of questionnaires, reflective and formative. Can I ask to somebody, can you give me the answer of anyone, those who are attending the session, how does it make difference? What is reflective questions in nature and what is formative questions in nature? Anyone? With the help of an example, please. We will not take more than 1 or 2 minutes. Anyone who can give me the answer? No, ma'am. I was knowing about it and I have used AMOS because I am having the reflective questionnaire. Is there anyone who is having a knowledge of reflective or formative? Yes or no? Nobody is interested. Okay, fine.
Yes.
Let me just. Yes, ma'am. You were saying something?
Yes, ma'am. After seeing the PPT, I'm just assuming that formative questionnaire is we are building the theory, we are building the framework, and that we are assessing. Like first, we are giving a structure of independent and dependent variable that we are finding out that is it whatever structure we are giving independent and dependent relationship between the variables, that is true or not, that we are going to check, or we are building the theory based on it.
Okay, now these. Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yes, very much relevant. But let me just make you more clarify onto this. PLS-SEM is to be used when you are having formative question, one criteria. When you want to build up a theory, second criteria. When your sample size is small, third criteria. And when your data is not normally distributed. That is also one criteria. Now, AMOS can be used on reflective, theory testing, and small size should be big one. Let me just give you the answer of reflective and formative. Ma'am, I think we are able to understand the difference between latent construct and observed construct. Latent construct is one which cannot be measured directly. Which cannot be measured directly. And observed is one which can measure directly. So, reflective and formative questionnaire, I am not talking about the observed one. I am talking about the latent, means it is having some items through which we are going to measure. Like item 1, item 2, item 3, and item 4. Now, whenever we form the questionnaire, and this is the construct, if I am having the arrow this side, and if I am having the arrow this side, is it making any difference? Anyone? The direction of the arrows, does it make any difference?
Yes, it's showing the impact that one, if we will suppose that circle is A and another circle, if we will create here, it will showing the impacting B to A, and then if we are
No.
saying here, then B to A.
No, ma'am. Now understand my question, what I am saying.
Okay.
Understand what I mean to say. I am saying that this is my latent construct. Latent. For an example, I want to measure the employee satisfaction. So I cannot ask this question directly. I will not be able to measure this. So I have made 4 questions, and every question's 4 statements, and all those statements are measured on Likert scale. So first is based upon the timing of salary. Arrow is here. Second is the environment, or like the politics. Third is the policies, leave policies.
Okay.
And then the fourth one is vacations, like the government gazetted leaves and all. So these are 4 questions by which I am measuring employee satisfaction. So these are considered to be items. Item 1, item 2, item 3, and item 4. Now, in these items, if I make my arrow all 4 in this direction, or I make my arrow or either this side or this side, how does it make any difference to the questionnaire? Anyone?
It could be possible that they both are impacting each other, and if the arrow is
No, that's the main thing which we will understand now. Reflect word is taken from the word reflection. And formative means formation. So if I say, for an example, that I want to know the customer satisfaction of bank loan. Now I am asking about timely loan sanctioning, interest rate, longevity, like longevity in terms of how long you kept that long loan. So these 3 questions I have asked, and I'm measuring all 3 questions on the Likert scale of 1 to 5. Now, suppose you all are the responders to my questionnaire, and I'm asking to somebody, please ma'am, rate, is it the loan is sanctioned on time? So you said 1 is the disagree and 5 is like the agreeest point. So you said 5. Is there any problem to keep that loan too long with you, or you want to get it over this as soon as possible? So is it like, are you happy to keep that loan with you? You said 5. And then when I asked you regarding the interest rate, you said 1. And when I asked you, would you like to take the loan again? You gave 4. What change did you find in this answer? Is there anything different? What is the catch in the answers given by the person? The catch is, without reading the questionnaire, I can see that the person has not been through with the questionnaire questions. Because if the person wants to take loan again, if the person is not interested to pay back the loan on time, like they will try to make the loan payable as long as possible, and they are also happy with the long sanctioning, why will they want to give the poor point to interest rate? If they are happy to take the loan again, they are happy with the services, they want to keep the loan, to be payable in the longer period of time. Don't you think that these 4 questions are highly correlated with each other? If the person is unhappy with anyone, the person may be unhappy. There is a high chance with the remaining 4. And if the person is happy with at least 2, the person will be happy with the remaining 2. What do you say? What do you say about it?
Is it, ma'am, each of the statements should be correlated with each other very much?
Yes. Understand, In reflective questionnaire, we are having the arrow this side. This is the nature of reflective questionnaire. And whenever you are having the reflective questionnaire, it means that the value of Cronbach alpha is always high. Means the interrelationship and the correlationship between all four variables are going to be very high. They are just substituting the nature of each other. They are not different. So the correlationship between all these are very high, and the chances are whenever you are having the reflective kind of questionnaire, generally the Cronbach alpha comes more than 0.8 or more than 0.9. Even you can see when the Cronbach alpha value is coming very high, 0.98, 0.99, then you just go back and see the nature of your questions. The questions must be having a high correlation with each other. Is it okay? Am I able to make you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now formative. Look at here. Now suppose if I am having the question that admission in IIM. This is my construct, that how many students are able to take the admission in IIM, and that will be depending upon your CAT score, your GDPI, and your graduation marks. Are these three, don't you think, forming the necessary requirements to take the admission in IIM? Can I say that there is a high correlation between CAT, GDPI and graduation? There is a possibility the student who is having the 55% marks in GD graduation may be able to score good in CAT, and the student who is able to score good in CAT may not be able to crack GDPI.
Agree, ma'am. Yeah, there are chances.
Questionnaire or not? These three are forming
Yes.
or not?
Yes,
So
possible.
whenever we are having the arrow towards the construct, this kind of questionnaire formation is considered to be formative. And if we are having the questions latent construct and the items like this, which is forming to the construct, this should always be analyzed on smart PLS. Otherwise, you will get the results, but you may not be able to give the justifications. And whenever your questions are having the high correlation with each other, are just, very much close substitutes to each other. These, and the arrow is towards the items, not towards the construct. These are considered to be the reflective questionnaire, and there is a high chance that the data will be normal distributed, not normal distributed. That is why it is to be said that when the customer or the respondents are not seriously filling this questionnaire, there is a chance the data will not be normally distributed. And you will come to know very easily. If you have the reflective questionnaire, you can come to know very easily whether the respondent has significantly, consciously give the answer to you or not. So at the reflective questionnaire, go with always AMOS and SPSS and AMOS.
Ma'am, is it when we have a look at the what is that? Once they answer, so if they are answering one variable 4, it should be almost 3, 4, 5,
Yes,
something
yes,
like this.
yes.
Oh, if it is 1 and 5, that means they have not answered in a
Yes,
proper
yes.
manner.
So if you're asking to somebody regarding the quality of the goods, and the questions are somehow that the packaging was good, the color was good, okay? But in third one, when you ask that like the usage was good or not, then you are giving first 2 points very high number, 4 or 5, but in the third one you are giving 2.
Okay.
These are highly correlated. And
Yes.
that is why the questions made on reflective questionnaire are having the interrelationship with each other that is very high. Right.
So if we have taken all the construct from that, usually all would be giving a high score
Yes.
or a low score,
Yes.
either of them. So there
generally,
won't be a
generally it
median.
happens in that way. Generally it happens
Okay,
in that
ma'am. Okay, got
now,
it.
now difference has been already told to you. I will not pay focus more on this now. Just the last part of today's class. Why do we need EFA, CFA and SEM? So for the latent construct, like EFA, keep in mind that EFA is to be performed when the topic is very new, either, or you are doing a kind of scientific study where the variables are not available. Even the topic is so new that the variables are not available, that under which variables the study is to be conducted. So what do you do in that case? Generally, we try to conduct the open-ended questions interview with the respondent. And then we try to take their responses in statements. And on those statements, we try to take their responses on Likert scale. And then all those data, we put it on SPSS, we run factor analysis. And if that factor analysis actually helping me that how many questions are of same nature, they will put all those questions in one construct. How many questions are of same nature, they will put under the second construct. So all those questions responses which I will be giving to the software, it is possible that all those questions can be divided under 2 constructs, can be under 3 constructs, can be under 4 constructs, depending upon what kind of responses and perpetually, what kind of constructs they are forming to. तो चारों किसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं? अगर मैं किसी गाड़ी की परफॉर्मेंस की बात करूं, if I talked about the performance of a car, for an example, so their petrol, diesel, performance, per kilometer speed, ये तीनों चारों factors किसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं? And if I say, for an example, the lighting, the interiors, the steering, comfortability, seats of car, ये किस factor के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं? So what will EFA do that? The items which are of same nature, they will say that should be under one construct. And then with the help of literature review, we can give 1 or 2 names to that. So suppose you have conducted interview with employees and designed a questionnaire with 20 items on employee engagement. We perform EFA to run whether these items can be clustered together or not. So what dimensions can be there in my studies? My friends, just keep in mind, if you have variables identified in your study, that means you have taken the variables from the literature and you are able to find out at least 5 to 7 papers on each variable with the scale to measure. Never go with EFA. What is the scale to measure means? For an example, if Dr. Ram has conducted one study on pharmaceutical industry employee satisfaction in industry pharmaceutical, and to measure employee satisfaction, he has taken 5 questions and he has given the value of Cronbach alpha 0.7 and he has done all the analysis. So can I adapt these questions for my study in automobile? Very less chance. Because pharmaceutical is completely different department. Automobile is different department. Even rewording of the items will not work. Rewording of items. But if some study is done on two-wheeler sector and you want to take that study questions in your study, which is of four-wheeler, absolutely you can adapt the questions in your study from this person, and you can do the rewording, change the wording of these items. So when you are able to adapt the scale, don't go with EFA. No requirement to go with EFA. If
Ma'am,
you're, yes, ma'am,
so
please.
if you're using the same industry or the sector, we don't have to change the scale.
Ma'am, you can adapt the scale and rewording it. उसकी language change कर दीजिए items की.
No, abhi aapne bola like from two-wheeler, like from a this sector, if I want to bring it to education sector, it won't
Yes.
happen.
Yes.
If I'm talking of
Yes,
engagement,
yes. Ma'am, two completely different industries.
okay, ma'am.
How we can take the questions, because what happened in hospital management, the nature of the employees to work into 24/7 and in different shifts.
Yes.
The nature is completely different as compared to automobile.
Okay.
So
got it.
if you think that the industry is completely different, the rewording will also not work.
Okay.
The scale is not available. Variables are not available. Go with EFA then only.
Okay, ma'am.
Otherwise, ma'am, I will tell you, I will share on group many reservoirs.
Okay. ma'am.
Those reservoirs are having scales for everything.
Yes, ma'am. Please do.
Already the scales are already available.
Yeah.
Adapt the scale. You can club 2 to 3 scales together. So few questions from Dr. Ram, few questions from Dr. Ruchika, few questions from Dr. Mahesh, and we can club the scales too.
Yes.
Give the reference.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So whenever you think that scales are available and those scales are verified with Cronbach alpha, please go with the scale adaptation. No requirement to go with EFA. EFA karna hi nahi hai.
Okay, ma'am.
Right. So EFA can only be done when you are unable to find out the variables. There are no scale available. Rewording is not possible. One study is done in USA, but you want to conduct the same study in rural area of India. Entirely the scenario is changed. So then go with EFA. Have the interviews conducted, collect the data, do the factor analysis. Front, like formation of constructs has to be there. Then there is a requirement of EFA. So now CFA, when to run the CFA? To confirm the model, whether 4 constructs are there, and for each construct I am having 3 items. So what will CFA do? CFA will check this, that all 3 items are supporting to this construct or not, or every construct is different in nature or not. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि this construct is same as this construct. So this model can be checked with the help of CFA, and in CFA we will test this with 2 things. This is the part of CFA only. Alok ek min part ka call hai, le lo. So we will do it with the help of convergent validity and discriminant validity. So under this convergent validity and discriminant validity, we will check the value of composite reliability. We will check the value of composite reliability. So these 2 tools we will see tomorrow, that how to get the confirmation that my model is good. So we will calculate this with the help of CR and MSV, AVE. Now, see, these are the points which we will see in CFA. These are the things which you have to report in your thesis. AVE, CR, and Cronbach alpha. What we are doing basically, we are doing CFA. And under CFA, 2 things we will calculate: convergent validity and discriminant validity. And what to report in convergent validity? Value of AVE, value of CR, and value of Cronbach alpha. What is to be calculated under discriminant? Value of MSV, ASV. These 2 things are very important. So I will tell you in tomorrow, in initial 20 minutes, what is the meaning of AVE? What is composite reliability? Why this is good? what is its relevance with the correlation. Correlation अगर high होगा तो CR की value भी high होगी. तो क्या मतलब है इसका? That we will see tomorrow. I will share the slides today. If you want to see the slides, you can. Whatever issues you are having, you can ask me till now. Okay, you can
Ma'am,
ask now. Yes.
yes, ma'am. Cronbach Alpha, if the questionnaire is already approved by some institute, like it is approved by UNDP or others, so if we are adopting the same, of course, we will reword the questionnaire. Then it is not necessary for us to calculate it.
No, ma'am. It is said that in few of the thesis, in few of the research papers, it is mentioned that whenever you are rewording, whether the consumers are able to understand the rewording of the statement or not, just check the reliability, internal consistency of the questions with just a pilot survey. So rather than calculating the value of Cronbach alpha, all the sample size, like not on 100 or 200, get it done on a sample of 50 or 100.
Okay, so how are we going to present it in, like, while we are writing our thesis? So over there we'll be mentioning this, that because it is a derived questionnaire, therefore we did a pilot study, so and so.
So like you will be adapting the scale. If you have
Right.
adapted the scale, you will frame a questionnaire based upon that scale. You will float that questionnaire, and just because we have to prove that the internal consistency of my question is good. So in CFA, there is one function called composite reliability. Composite reliability is just considered to be as same as it is the value of Cronbach alpha. So when we are running CFA and SEM, there is no need to run the Cronbach alpha especially, because the work is already done by CR, composite reliability. So if you are mentioning the value of composite reliability, no need to go with Cronbach alpha. Surat nahi hai. वो CR में ही it is covered.
Okay.
That is actually checking the modeling. So we will be understanding the meaning of these five, and then I will definitely teach you first EFA and then CFA and SEM. So it will take, like, I will be sharing few files like the SEM file. So you just get it downloaded, the trial version of SPSS and AMOS, whatever is possible on net. So get it downloaded. I will be sharing 1 or 2 files for EFA and then 1 file for SEM and running CFA tomorrow. Right? Okay. Yes, ma'am. I could not understand. What are you saying? Oh, Jacob. Okay. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you. So if you have, okay, thank you so much. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me on WhatsApp in the group. Otherwise, I think I should leave for today, and we will join again tomorrow at 7 p.m.